Welcome. This is a nutritious Pilates session. So for this class you will need your strap and you need something to place between your knees that we can kind of squeeze. So I've got a squishy ball here. You might have a block or a little cushion or just anything that you can squeeze a little bit. So whatever you've got, gather them up and let's get started. So we're lying down, we're just letting our spine settle into the floor, letting your chest and your shoulders roll open, arms are just relaxed down by your sides. Finding that neutral pelvis, so just noticing if you're kind of tucking your pelvis or you're really kind of arching your back, and try and find a really relaxed position. And then start to notice your breath. Slowing your breath down. And trying to get as much air as possible in with every inhale. And then fully exhale. So let's see if we can start to deepen that breath a little this time. As you inhale, see if you can count to 4. And then exhale on a count of 4. Let's do that a couple of times. Inhaling for 4. And exhaling for 4. If that feels comfortable for you, try 5. If it feels like it's already a struggle, stay at 4. Again, just focusing on your breath, getting as much air in as possible with every inhale, and then fully exhale. Good. Let's start to move our arms here. So the next time you inhale, let's float our arms up overhead. Take them towards the floor behind you, and then exhale as you float them down. And let's see if we can stay with that 4 or that 5 count breath. So whichever makes more sense to you. Let's do one more like that. This time, as you float your arms overhead, let's take them wide to find a V position. So instead of them being straight overhead, kind of at that wide V position. And as you exhale this time, let's take the arms down towards the hips. So inhale as you sweep the arms out to the side, finding that V. And exhale to come down towards your hips. Let's see if we can connect into our abdominals a little bit here. So as you exhale and you press the hands down, press into your feet as well. So exhale, press into your feet as you move the arms towards your hips. Still staying with our 5 or 4 count breath, whichever feels better for you. But trying to connect and find that abdominal work, that abdominal action here. As your arms come down towards your hips, let's pause there. Keeping your palms facing down towards the floor, let's have our elbows hovering just off the floor. And as you inhale, let's just bend at the elbow, so palms are still going to face away from you, bending at the elbow. And as you exhale, just straighten your arm and press into your feet. Inhale again as you bend at the elbow. And exhale, press into your feet as you press the palms down. And try and create some resistance here. Imagine that your arms are pressing against, maybe you're in some water, so it's quite hard to push those arms down. Let's do 2 more like this. One more time. And then your arms come all the way down. Okay, so we're going to build on a little bit. We're going to stay with the breath work and the arm work, but we're going to add some hips as well here. So this time, as you inhale, I want you to float your arms up towards the ceiling and hold there. As you exhale, press into your heels and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale again to take your arms overhead towards the floor behind you. And as you exhale, we're going to float the arms all the way down and the hips all the way down to come back to your start position. So let's see if we can do that 5 count breath again. So inhale as you just float the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to float the hips up towards the sky. Inhale, float the arms overhead towards the floor behind you. And then exhale as you float the arms and the hips all the way down. Do that again. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, press into the heels, lift the hips. Inhale, taking those arms overhead. This time, as you exhale, we're going to press into the feet. We're going to turn the palms. So as you start to lower the hands, you're pressing the palms down towards the floor. Again, create that resistance. Imagine that you're in water, and we're going to work those triceps. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, press into the heels and lift the hips. Inhale, arms go overhead towards the floor. And as you exhale, press into those feet as the palms face down towards the floor, and we're lowering down, all the way down. We're going to do that just one more time. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, press into the heels to lift the hips. Inhale, take your arms overhead towards the floor behind you. And then exhale, still pressing into the feet. Find those abdominals as you start to float the arms down, float the hips down, palms face down as you come all the way down. Really nice. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Just give your knees a little hug and just rock gently side to side. Good. Okay. So we're going to do our strap stretch next. So grab your strap. And we're going to place the strap around one foot. So have it right at the base of your toes. And then lengthen your free leg out long. So we've got both legs as straight as we can. Pushing out through both heels, pulling the front of the foot towards you, finding that length through the back of your leg. Let's just hold here for a few breaths. And then we're going to bring that leg across our body, only if it feels okay, but bring it across. Let's take that release to the outer hip. Bring that leg back in through centre. Let's slightly turn it out from the hip and take the leg out to the side. And then when you're ready, just bring that leg back in through centre. So we're going to keep that slight turn out, and we're going to do our circles here. So keeping your pelvis as still as you can. As you inhale, bring that leg across your body. As you exhale, we're going to circle that leg down, around and up and pause in the centre. Do that again. Inhale as your leg comes across. Exhale to circle down, around and up and pause in centre. That's number 2. Let's do 5. Finding that pause, finding that control. When you've done 5 in this direction, we're just going to reverse and go the other way. So still keeping the turn out. Inhale as the leg goes out. Exhale to circle down, around and up. Remember, if your hip's bothering you, if it's kind of clicking or it just doesn't feel nice, you can play with the turn out. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. You can make your circle bigger or smaller. Just find what works for you. And when you've done your 5 circles in each direction, we're going to pause there. And we're going to bring the leg across the body again. But this time we're going to pull it up towards your shoulder, so we're keeping it even more of a stretch. Just come across, but then slightly up as well. And just hold there for a couple of breaths. Good. When you're ready, bring that leg back in through centre. Let's just switch and pop the strap onto the other side. Again, we want both legs as straight as possible, pushing out through your heel. Pulling the front of the foot towards you. Just take a few breaths there. again, let's bring it across your body, just coming across, releasing any tightness through that outer hip. Coming back in through centre, slightly turn it out and then take it out to the side. Releasing inner thigh this time. Trying to keep your pelvis nice and still. It's really tempting to let your pelvis go with your leg. Try to keep your pelvis where it is. And then when you're ready, bring it back in. So keeping that slight turn out, and again, we're going to do our circles here. So bring that leg across as you inhale. Exhale to circle down, around and up, and pause in the centre. Again, inhale across. Exhale to circle down, around and up, and pause. 3 more. And when you've done your 5 in that direction, you're just going to reverse and go the other way. Again, keeping your pelvis nice and stable. And when you've done your circles in either direction, if you've not finished yet, carry on. But we're going to keep that little bit of turn out, and we're going to bring that leg across, but bring it up towards your shoulder. Don't go wild. It doesn't need to be a big movement. And just notice if it feels different one side to the other. So before we did it in that neutral position, we did the other side. This time I've just added a little bit of turn out. It doesn't matter. You can be in neutral, you can be turn out, you can be rolled in. It's all good, and it's all just about getting as much movement around the hip joint as we possibly can. Okay, bring your leg back in through centre, and then let's just get rid of that strap, and let's just take a little stretch. Lengthen your legs out long, reach your arms overhead, and stretch. Circling your arms out to the sides as you bend your knees, and bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a little hug, and let's just rock gently here, just releasing your low back. And then we're going to let those legs come into a tabletop position, so kind of 90 degrees there. Okay, on an inhale, I want you to lower one leg down just to tap your toe down on the floor, and then as you exhale, bring that leg back into tabletop. Do the other side. As you inhale, lower the leg down, exhale to bring it back up. Moving with your breath. So we're exhaling as we bring the leg up, because that's where the work is, that's where the load to our abdominals is on bringing it back in. So we're being very aware that our abdominals aren't kind of pushing out and bulging. We want to keep that sensation of them kind of drawing in as we do the work. And if you're happy with the legs, let's add some arms as well. So reach your arms up towards the sky, palms face in. As you tap your toe down, reach the opposite arm away from you, and then bring it back in. So arm reaches overhead towards the floor, toe taps down. So it's a really nice abdominal stabilisation movement, but also abdominal strength. So nothing's happening in your torso at all. Ribs aren't moving, pelvis isn't moving, belly is not pushing and bulging out. One more like this, and then just bring your knees in for a moment just to have a little reset. It just lets your abdominals relax for a moment, lets your back relax. And then we're going to do the same again, but we're going to try it with a long leg this time instead of tabletop. So finding that tabletop position first, and then just straighten your legs up towards the sky. You can have a slight bend in them if your hamstrings feel really tight. Take your arms up towards the sky as well. Okay, so on an inhale, opposite arm, opposite leg reaches away. You can take it as low as feels okay for you, and then exhale to come back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, arm and leg reaches away. Exhale, comes back up to the ceiling. So if taking that leg too low towards the floor makes you feel like your back is arching or your abdominals are kind of bulging, then just make the range a little bit smaller. Moving with the breath. Inhale as you reach. Exhale to pull back in. Let's do one more of these on each side. And as you draw back in, again, just bend your knees, just give yourself a little moment. So we're going to stay with some abdominal work. Whatever you have got to squeeze between your knees, grab that now. So block, ball, cushion, anything will do. We're going to pop it between our knees. And then we're going to bring our legs into a tabletop position. We're going to anchor our arms on the floor down next to us. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to bring your knees towards your nose, and you can let your bottom lift off the floor a little bit and then lower it back down. So I imagine that I'm kind of tilting my pelvis towards me and then bringing those knees in, like I'm kind of rolling down a hill almost. So you might not get all the way towards your nose, and there's no prizes if you do it anyway, but you're just kind of aiming that way. Trying not to fling. It's really tempting here to kind of use momentum and to fling, but I want you to think about control, so tilting your pelvis and then just lifting your bottom. You can use those arms pressing into the floor to give you a little bit of support. Keep breathing. Can you do 2 more? One more time here. And then pausing with those legs in tabletop again. Whatever we've got between our knees, we're going to give it a little squeeze. And we're going to take those arms out to a T position, palms face up. Let's take it into a little spine twist here, so allowing your knees to roll gently to one side. Coming in through centre and over to the other side. So only go as far as you can keep those shoulder blades down on the floor. So we're twisting through the waist, a little bit of a squeeze through your knees, squeezing your ball, whatever you've got. Again, abdominal work, having to use those abdominals to draw our pelvis back in through centre. Feel nice. As you come in to centre this time, let's move the ball or the block, whatever you're using, and let's place it between our ankles this time. Arms are still in that T position, shoulder blades anchored on the floor. Make it small to begin with, but letting your legs roll gently to one side, in through centre and over to the other side. So keep squeezing your ankles as you rock gently from side to side. And of course, if it feels too much with long legs, you can always go back to tabletop legs. It's a lot more load when you've got those legs out long. And then as you come in through centre this time, just bend those knees back in, get rid of whatever you were squeezing and give your knees a little hug. Let's just rock gently side to side. Placing your feet down on the floor, feet and knees together. We're going to roll both knees to one side. So roll your knees to one side, let your body kind of roll onto your side to bring the knees down to the floor, whatever you need to do to get those knees down on the floor. And then we're going to start to try and twist our upper body away from there. So knees stay down, open out your arms, try and find that T position. And don't worry if your arm and your shoulders are a mile away from the floor, it really doesn't matter. Just keep those knees anchored down. Let's just hold here for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll onto our back and then onto the other side. So just safely coming out of that, bring your knees in through centre, and then let your knees roll to the other side. Again, let them go all the way down to the floor, keeping the knees anchored, and then start to open out your chest, your shoulders and your upper body to find that T position again. And just noticing, is it different on one side to the other? Hold there, take some deep breaths. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll again back onto our back. And pick up your knees again, give your knees a little hug, and let's again just roll it down. We're going to flip over onto our front next. So when you're ready, just roll over onto your front. We're going to do a little bit of back extension. So let's have our hands in that kind of stop position. So hands just in front of your shoulders. Pubic bone anchored, tailbone slightly tucked. You can have legs together or hip width, whichever feels better for you. But take a moment to roll your shoulders down away from your ears. On an inhale, let's press our hands and our elbows into the floor and lift the back of the head, the back of the neck towards the sky. Exhale as you slowly lower all the way back down. So let's kind of play with this a little bit, and feel free to move your hands further forward or wider to the side. Just find the position that feels most comfortable for you. But inhale as you lift into that back extension, and exhale as you lower back down. Let's do a few of those. Just coming up as high as feels okay for you. If it starts to bother your lower back, check in with your ribs, making sure that you're not rib thrusting. Let's do one more. In fact, as you come up this time, let's come up and hold it. So don't come up too high, but just come up to a position that feels okay that you can hold. We'll do some head turns. Let your shoulders relax and turn your head to one side. Coming in through centre, turn your head to the other side. Let's do one more to each side. Turn and turn. All the way back in, and then lower your body all the way down. Let's just push ourselves up and back, finding that child's pose, finding that rest position for a moment, just to give your lower back a little bit of a stretch. My feet are cramping up today, give my toes a stretch too. So if you want to have a little wiggle while you're in that child's pose, that's fine too, whatever feels good to you. We're going to go back down onto our front again, so when you're ready, let's go all the way back down. And this time you can rest your forehead on your hands. I'm going to keep my head up just so that you can hear me. But we're going to do our hip extension. So again, pubic bone anchored, tailbone tucked, legs together or hip width, whichever feels better for you. And then reach one leg away from you. Make that leg as long as you can and let it lift away from the floor, and then lower down. Switch to the other side. Reach the leg long, let it lift and lower. You're always thinking more about the length of the leg rather than how high it is. And really trying to find this work in your glutes and your hamstrings rather than your lower back. So lower back wants to stay really quiet. Good. As you lower your leg down this time, just pause there. We're going to go into a quad stretch from here. So just bend one knee and then reach your hand back to grab your ankle. And we're just going to take some deep breaths here. Try to find that anchored pelvis down on the floor. So if there's a lot of tension in the front of your hip, you'll kind of fold at the hip and you'll lift your bottom away from the floor. So see if you can relax enough to imprint your pelvis in the floor. Finding that length through the front of your thigh. And then when you're ready, just release that leg. Let's do the same on the other side. So bend in the knee, bring your foot towards your bottom and then grab your ankle. Again, try to relax our pelvis down into the floor. Good job. And then when you're ready, just releasing that leg down. Let's again just push ourselves up and back, just to give you back a little stretch, because we've been down on our front for a little while. We are going to go back onto our front one more time, but just have a little stretch there first. So it's kind of nice to stretch out the quads a little bit before we do any single leg kick work. So obviously one of the classical Pilates movements is single leg kick. So let's go back down onto our front again, but this time let's be on our elbows. We've got elbows under shoulders and we want a nice proud chest, so don't let your shoulders collapse, so find that nice proud chest. Again, legs can be together or hip width, and check in with your ribs. Okay, so we're going to bend one knee, bring the heel towards your bottom, and we're going to point the foot as we do a little kick, and then we're going to have a flat foot to do a little kick, and then we're going to reach the leg long and lower it all the way down. Same on the other side, so we're going to point, we're going to flex, and we're going to lower all the way down. We're going to keep switching sides, so point, flex, lower, point, flex, lower. lower. And as you lower, keep reaching. Point, flex, reach and lower. Point, flex, reach and lower. Let's do one more on each side. Point, flex, reach and lower. Last one. Point, flex, reach and lower all the way down. Really nice. Okay, we're going to go onto our side from here. So just rolling onto your side. And then I like to line myself up with the mat. So I've got my shoulders, my hips on the back edge of the mat, and then just kicking my legs forward to that front edge. Find that level pelvis, so hip bones are stacked one on top of the other. And really lengthen out through both legs, so have those flat, flexed feet. Let's do lift and lower here. So reach the leg long as you lift and reach long as you lower. Create your own resistance again here. Imagine that you're in some treacle, so it's really hard to lift the leg and it's really hard to lower it. Two more. And I'm going to take it into circles, but let's brush that bottom foot with the top foot as you circle. So keep it quite small. And then reverse, go the other way. Last one. We're going to take it into kicks now. So flat foot and kick it forwards for two. So we're going to go forwards on one, deeper on two, and then point your toe as you take that leg back behind the other one. Do that again. So forwards on one, deeper on two, point the toe, take it back. Forwards on one, deeper on two, take it back. We'll do two more. Forwards on one, deeper on two, take it back. One more time. Forwards on one, deeper on two, take it back. We're going to do bicycle. Let's bring that leg all the way forwards. Bend in the knee. Take the knee back. Straighten the leg out long and come all the way forwards again. Let's do 5 in each direction. This one's number 2. Reach. See if you can make it smooth. Maybe. And when you've done 5, just reverse it and go the other way. Find it's kind of smoother one way perhaps than the other. Feel a little bit stiff doing it this way. I think that's fine. When you've done 5 in each direction, just take a moment to lower that leg down and just get a little bit of a stretch. We're going to roll onto our front for beats, just to give everything a little bit of a release. So roll back onto your front again, rest your forehead down on your hands, and reach your legs out long. So bring your heels together, and we're going to lift both legs off the floor, and we're going to click the heels together really quickly 10 times. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Roll onto your other side, and let's do a little side leg series on the other side. Same thing again, line yourself up with the back edge of your mat, kick your legs forwards to the front, and make sure that your pelvis is stacked. Flat feet and reach them away from you. Let's do that lower and lift again here when you're ready. Lift and lower. Remember, resist. So imagine that you're in that treacle, so it's really hard to lift, really hard to lower. You don't have to lift it really high, just create that resistance. Let's do 2 more. And then circle, so brushing that bottom foot as you circle around, so make it quite small. And then reverse, go the other way. Good, ready for kicks, so lift into hip height, still flat. And we're going to go forwards on 1, deeper on 2, and then point the toe as you take the leg back. Again, kick forwards on 1, deeper on 2, and then point your toe as you take it back. 3 more. Forwards on 1, deeper on 2, take it back. Forwards on 1, deeper on 2, take it back. 1 more like that. Forwards on 1, deeper 2, Take it back. We're going to take it into bicycle. Let's bring that leg all the way forwards, bending the knee. Take the knee back, lengthen the leg out long, and come through. Again, let's do 5 in each direction. This is number 2. Can you make it smooth? You always have one side that's kind of easier than the other. When you've done your 5 in one direction, remembering to reverse and go the other way. I lose count. I get to about 3. I lose count. Nice. And I think that's probably about 5 in each direction. So just lowering that leg down for a moment, just getting that little bit of a hip stretch. And then we're going to go onto all 4s from here. So find your way onto your hands and knees. And we're going to do some rhomboid push-ups. So this is just working a little bit on our shoulder stability. Fingers spread wide. Thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits forwards. Let your shoulder blades squeeze together and then press wide. You can never do too many rhomboid push-ups. So just keep going here. Squeeze and then press. Notice if those elbow pits are rolling in. Try and keep your elbow pits pointing forwards. Good. Alright, so let's find that point at which our shoulders are really stable. So they're not squeezing together, they're not really wide, they're kind of halfway between. Elbow pits are forward. So keep that and let's find a plank from here. So taking one leg at a time back and tucking the toes under. Try not to disturb the shoulders as you find that plank. And then we're just going to bring the knees back in, come back onto all 4s. Let's do that again. So shoulders nice and stable. Perhaps try taking your other leg back first. Can you step one leg back and the other leg back? Finding that plank, pause for a moment, and then just bring the legs back in, 1, 2. So let's just do that a few times. Stepping up into your plank, pausing for a moment, making sure the shoulders are happy, and then coming back onto your knees. And keep trying to switch which leg goes out first and which leg comes back in first. I seem to always want to do the same one. Alright, as you come in this time, just come off your wrists for a minute. Let's just give our wrists a little twirl around. Let's just give them a little break for a second. Give them a little shake out. So we can stay with that where you do your plank and then you step back into that all 4s position. Or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, instead of putting the knee down, you could do a knee hover. So let's have a little play with that one. So again, find your plank position first, fingers wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits forwards. So finding that plank first, and then stepping your toes in, but keeping that knee hovering off the floor. And then bring the other toes in, and knees hovering. That's it, and then you're just going to step them back. 1, 2. And again, see if you can lead with different foot each time rather than always doing the same way. And to begin with, as you bring your foot in, you kind of want to pike your bum up in the air, but try and keep your knee quite close to the floor. It's a lot of work. Do one more. And then come on down off your wrists onto your knees again. And let's just have a little moment there. Ooh, give them a good shake out. Okay. So let's do a little bit of seated stuff for a moment. We're going to kind of come back to that plank in a moment. So let's do some mermaids. So you can choose to have both legs going to one side, which is kind of your classical mermaid. You can have one leg going in front, one leg going behind, or you can sit cross-legged. So it's just about finding a position that feels okay for your hips. I don't have both legs together because that's just comfortable for me. And you're trying to have as level a pelvis as possible. It's never going to be fully level if you've got both legs to one side, but just try not to be massively lifted. Okay, so whichever side your legs have gone to, hold on to that side with your arm, and let's reach the other arm up towards the sky, and then drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Try and bring that arm as close to your ear as you can, And let's take it over into a mermaid. So over into a side bend. So we're going over, just pause in there. And then we're going to come up and we're going to windmill the arms. Taking this hand down to the floor, bending the elbow. And we're going to take it over into a side bend to the other side, a little counter stretch. Let's do that again when you're ready. Coming up, windmill the arms. Holding onto the legs as you take it over. And again, coming up. Take it into another side bend. Let's do one more like that. And doing your little counter stretch on the other side. And then just release that hand down. So we're going to mermaid our legs to the other side. So just switch your legs to the other side. And again, whichever way your legs have gone, we're going to hold on to that leg. And reach the other arm up towards the sky. Drop your shoulders and then try and bring your arm to your ear. Never stays there, but we start there when you're ready. Take it over into that side bend. Notice, is it different on this side to the other side? And then when you're ready, windmill the arms and take it into your little counter stretch the other way. And you're ready to go again. Taking it up and over, a little stretch. Oh, so good. And take it over. Let's do one more like this. And then as you come up this time, we're going to take our legs wide. So take your legs wide. I'm going to kind of sit sideways. So take your legs wide and have your toes pointing up towards the sky and your knees pointing up towards the sky. If you're a bit tight through your back and it makes you rounded, sit on something. Feel free to grab a cushion or anything like that. Okay. So we're going to hinge forwards first. So we're not rounding. We're keeping our back flat and we're leaning forwards first. You can bring your hands down towards the floor. Just hold there for a moment. Notice if your toes are trying to point or your legs are trying to roll out. Try and keep them still. And then we're going to nod our chin down towards our chest. And we're going to start to round forwards now. So let your spine round. Maybe you can walk your fingertips a little bit further forward. Just go into your own maximum position and let's just hold here for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, on an inhale, let's slowly roll ourselves back up, restacking that spine, and come back up to sit tall. Let's do that again. Check in, toes, knees pointing straight up, nice tall spine. So let's hinge forwards first, flat back, lean as far forwards as you can first. Let your hands come down to the floor, chin to chest, and then start to allow your spine to round forward, starting to walk your hands forward. And coming down, just finding that maximum position. Let your head maybe just hang here. And let's just hold for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, let's again on an in-breath, just slowly roll ourselves back up, restacking our spine, and come back up to sit tall. Nice. So we're going to keep one leg out wide, and we're going to bring one leg in. I'm going to turn to face this way again for you. So I've got one leg in, one leg out. Okay, and we're going to take our arms up towards the sky. So we've got a nice tall spine here, we're sitting nice and tall. Okay, take a breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to twist towards our bent leg. So twist your body to look towards your bent leg. And then take a breath in again here, inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to take it into a side bend. We're going to see if we can reach our fingers towards the toes of that long leg. So can you take it over into a side bend and hold here? 2 breaths. See if you can sink a little deeper as you exhale. Do it again. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, can you sink a little deeper? Inhale, we're going to come back up. And we're going to twist back in through centre and just release those hands down. We're going to do that again. So let's take the arms up towards the ceiling first. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist towards that bent knee. Take a breath in again here, grow tall. And as you exhale, we're going to side bend over that long leg, reaching towards those toes. Hold in here, 2 breaths. As you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper. Maybe you can grab your toes with one of your hands. Again, as you exhale, can you sink a little deeper? On an in-breath, let's come back up and out of that side bend. And then exhale to come back in through centre and just release the hands down. Let's switch the legs over the other way and try it on the other side. So one leg in, one leg out long. Sit nice and tall. Inhale, take your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, twist your upper body towards that bent knee. Hold in here, deep breath in again, grow tall. And as you exhale, we're going to side bend again over the long leg, reaching your toes with your fingers. Can you reach it? Hold for 2 breaths. As you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper. Again on the exhale, can you sink a little deeper? On your next in-breath, come back up, sit tall, and then release the hands down. Let's do that one more time on this side. I think I missed a bit out of that one. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale again, twist towards your bent knee. Inhale again, grow tall. And exhale, take it into that side bend. There we go. Deep breath. As you exhale, sink a little deeper. Again, deep breath in, and as you exhale, sink in a little deeper. There we go. And then inhale, we're going to come back up and out of that side bend. There we go. And then exhale to twist back in through centre and release the hands down. That was it. I missed the twist back in through centre with that last one. Okay, so let's find our plank again. Let's go back onto all fours. We're going to have a little play around with our plank, with our downward facing dog, and walking in and out a little bit. So fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits are forwards. Get your stable shoulders first, and then find your plank. And then try to keep those elbow pits as far forwards as you can, stable shoulders. Can you pike your bottom up towards the sky to find that downward facing dog? So your elbow pits are going to roll in a little bit, but you're still trying to turn them forward. And then you can just pedal your feet here. So bending one knee deeply at a time as you lift one foot away from the floor at a time. Can you send your sit bones up towards the sky? Eyes are on your toes. Okay, so we're going to go from this kind of inverted V, this downward facing dog, back to our plank. So I like to roll through my spine, rolling forwards to find that plank again. And then can you pike your bottom back up towards the sky again? Finding that downward facing dog again, let's pedal those feet again. We're going to roll forwards to find that plank again. When you're ready, rolling forwards, finding that plank, nice stable shoulders again, elbow pits are forwards. And we're going to pike our bottom up towards the sky again. Okay, now this time we're going to walk our hands in towards our feet. So can you walk your hands in, all the way to your toes so that you can get your weight down onto your feet. You can have your knees bent as much as you need to. We're just going to hold here for a moment. Let your body just settle. And then we're going to roll ourselves up to standing. So on your next in-breath, start to slowly roll yourself up to standing. Open your arms out. Circle your arms up towards the sky as you grow tall. And then as you exhale, just allow your hands to come back down by your sides. We're going to roll ourselves back down. When you're ready, take a breath in. Nudge your chin towards your chest. And as you exhale, let's start to roll back down towards the floor. You can have your knees bent if you need to. Roll down, bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down. Once your hands are down, we're going to walk those hands back out to try and find that plank position again. Hold that plank position. And we're going to pike our bottom up towards the sky again and pedal for our downward facing dog. And just pedaling, just releasing any tension through the back of the legs. Okay, now this time instead of walking our hands towards our feet, we're going to do it the other way. We're going to walk our feet towards our hands. Again, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. But once you're able to get your weight down onto your feet, we're just going to pause for a moment, letting your body settle. And then when you feel ready, on an inhale, again we're going to roll up. As you start to come up, open your arms out again, circle your arms out to the sides and up towards the sky. And then exhale as you release the hands all the way back down by your side. Now I'm going to come back down to the floor again. I'm going to kind of step back to the end of my mat so I've got plenty of space. Okay, let's do our roll down. Take a breath, chin to chest. And on an exhale, start to roll down. Let your arms hang. Rolling down. In fact, we're not going to put our hands all the way on the floor. We're going to hang at the bottom of this roll down this time. Nod your head like you're saying yes. Shake your head side to side like you're saying no, just to release any tension through your neck. Let your arms hang. And you do little circles with your arms. So the arms are just kind of swinging freely and we're just doing little circles. So good for your shoulders. Can you circle them the other way? Good job. And then when you're ready, bend your knees as much as you need to again to get your hands down. And we're going to walk those hands out again to find that plank position. Find those nice stable shoulders. And then we're going to come out of the plank. We're going to go onto our knees. So one knee at a time comes down onto the floor. And then just come on off your hands for a moment. Just give your wrists a little twirl around. And go the other way. So I kind of really like playing with that plank. Planks are a really good full body exercise, but they can be really hard to hold for a long time, you know, hands, wrists, shoulders. So it's kind of nice to play with that downward dog plank and kind of walk in and out. And it really builds a lot of upper body strength and whole body strength really quite quickly. So we'll do a couple more of those. We're going to walk the hands in, we're going to walk the feet in, and then just do a couple more roll downs. So when you're ready, let's again find our plank position. Elbow pits forwards. Finding your plank. Try not to disturb your shoulders as you pike your bottom up towards the sky. I like that little pedal. You don't have to add the pedal, but I do like that little pedal just to try and find some more length with the back of the legs. Alright, let's walk the hands in first. So walking those hands in towards your feet. Pausing for a moment just to let your body kind of settle. And when you're ready, on an inhale, let's roll it up. Opening the arms out wide when you're ready, reaching up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, releasing the hands all the way down. We're going to roll down. Take a breath. Chin to chest, let's roll it down. You can have soft knees. We're going to roll all the way down, getting your hands down to the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to get those hands. And then let's walk those hands out to find our plank position. Again, just check nice stable shoulders, make sure you're happy with that plank. And this time we're going to pike our bottom up towards the sky again. Little pedal here. And then we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And again, find that rolled down position. Once your feet are firmly planted on the floor, take a moment to settle your body. And then on an inhale, let's roll it up. Open it up. Circle your arms out, reaching up towards the sky, and then exhale as you slowly lower the hands all the way down. Okay, so we're going to come to standing. We're going to have our feet about hip width apart. And we're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet as we float the arms up towards the sky, grow tall. And then we're going to circle the arms out to the sides, lowering your hands as you lower your heels. We're going to do 3 times in each direction. So come up on an in-breath, reach and grow tall. As you exhale, circle the hands, lowering your hands as you lower your heels. One more time like that. Reach and grow tall. Circle and lower. Just reverse, go the other way. Reach and lowering your hands just down through the front this time. 2 more. One more time. And lowering all the way down. Taking a moment here just to pedal those feet. Now we're going to add a little twist, nice floppy arms, just gently twisting side to side, just freeing off any tension, any tightness so that you are ready to face the rest of the day, whatever that may be for you. Thank you so much for being here.